Tvisha Krishnam Sangapangostraparshadam Yagnahi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnate of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his uh, associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharne Kanipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuwane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Ananden Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were very expert in studying the in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are thus they are honored all over the three worlds, but and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayad Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Hare Krishna. So today we'll do lesson 133b, and that will be the end of chapter 87. And then I think that tomorrow is Rajiv Prabhu is going to be starting. And then the final 4 lessons, again, I will pick it up. So let's get into it. So before I begin, I think somebody's going to recap last week classes. It was very difficult. Last week's classes were difficult. So I recognize that. And so please give us a break. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Adibol Dandat Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhuji, properly?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So we are going through Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10, and canto 10 and chapter 87. We are going through first 50 verses. There are 50 verses and an overview and introduction, the prayers of the personified Shrutis. So here in this chapter, there are 128 to 133 lessons, and lesson 133, Prabhuji categorically divided into 2 lessons, lesson 6 and 7. So last time we went through lesson 133a, the nature of the Supreme, Vedic insights into the infinite glories and incomprehensibility of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this lesson it included the verses 36 to 39, and amongst all those verses, Prabhuji explained that 36 was is very important to understand. That is the basis of our Vaishnava philosophy. And Prabhuji went through so lucidly in this lesson, and especially verse 36. So these four verses, 36, 37, 38, 39. So the first 36, it is about reconciling contradictions, the philosophical discourse on Sat versus Asat Karyavad. Then 37th verse was about grasping the illusory essence of the universe. 38 was it was with the illusion of material existence, and 39 the perils of incomplete renunciation and material desire. So this particular lesson 133a deals about the two schools of thought, the two philosophies, and one by Karma Vimamsa philosophy, and the second is Vaishnava philosophy, explaining Shrutis how is the supreme nature of Lord about the material world. And the next is about the distinction between Jivatma and Paramatma, then the distinction between Mahamaya and Yogmaya, and as well as about the renunciation and material desires. So yeah, Prabhuji, Shri Charu Chandra Prabhuji. So he went through this lesson so easily that so there are so difficult concepts, the discussions and how they're defeated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and BBT philosophies. And yes, he tried to percolate with so nice examples these two philosophies. So, this about the philosophy deals with the Sat versus Asat Karyavad. So, the Shrutis is they are in dilemma. So, yeah, and how it was corrected by Vaishnava philosophy. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, yeah, the tackled with the intricate challenge of how Shrutis can simultaneously uphold the contradictory perspectives within the discourse on Sat versus Asat Karyavad. Sat means true reality. In this case, Prabhuji explained that it talks about eternal, and Asat is about non-reality. And this particular theme highlights a profound philosophical hurdle in interpreting this ancient wisdom, suggesting that the truth may transcend a binary framework. So it emphasizes the necessity for understanding to harmonize these opposing views and thus presenting an intellectual pursuit that becomes deeper, deeper inquiry. Okay, so there are two philosophies. Can anyone name again those two schools of thought?
Hare Krishna, Mother. So as started very nicely. The important thing, Sat and verses. We are talking only eternity of the material world because Shruti is talking only eternal. Because sometimes the word of illusion and all that confused, but wherever illusion is substitute the Asat, temporary or whatever you call, then it becomes very easy to really go through understanding. So Sat Karya, they believe basically because Brahman is a Sat or whatever is there, from that whatever comes is eternal, right? That is what we talk. Asat in the sense, because all the glory, all the problem comes with Asat. How to define Asat? Is it that which we appear and disappear? Is that Asat? It's again, we have to go back to, as you said very nicely on that, eternity. So if there is a break in eternity, it's asat. If you look at that, so the philosophy of impersonalist, philosophy of karma mimamsa, because karma mimamsa always believe everything is true because they talk about material. If they start talking about asat, that material world doesn't exist, then the philosophy falls apart. because the karma comes with whatever is available, use everything, good work, bad work, all that things are. So Sat and Asat basically, two philosophies that one talks of Sat, everything coming from the eternals, from Sat, whatever comes out is a Sat, it's also eternal. Another talks, whatever is coming out, it may not be there because of, it disappears for some time and comes back. So eternity and all that. That's the whole thing is only on that. That's how I can understand Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is cause and effect concept Prabhuji explained so nicely. Yeah, just like the gold is gold and the ornaments made from gold, they are also gold, isn't it? So the making jewelry or ornaments, this is the effect. That is called Parinamvad philosophy, isn't it? And so this Parinamvad philosophy, which has been accepted by Vaishnavas, the Lord is eternal and the creation, what he has created, is also eternal. While as the Mayavadis, we see the Karma Mimamsa followers, they do believe that yes, Lord is eternal, Brahma Satya, but Jagat is Mithya. Okay, so what they say is uh, it is impermanence of the material world according to their philosophy. Okay, so here Prabhuji tried to say that both this has been true, and we'll see in the next coming few minutes how it has been true by both these philosophies. So, Shrutis, they did handle this topic so nicely. Amongst Karyavad, isn't it? Prabhuji said that the word just now, rather, Prabhuji said the word illusion, isn't it? We do call it as Maya. The material world is Maya, but it's been originated from Lord Himself, isn't it? So Asat Karyavad says that this material world, it is the illusion. Okay, and as per the Vaishnava philosophy, so why we feel it as the material world is illusion or Maya? It just because of avidya, the ignorance. Okay, and what ignorance? Okay, so because we do have the false sense of permanence where none exists, isn't it? So as we do not know, so from eternal to eternal, it's been eternal, the material world is, but because of avidya's covering, that is the coverings of ignorance, we did try to consider it as the material one, and the transience of this material one. So these two are the contrasting philosophies, the two schools of thought, Karma Mimamsa and Vaishnava philosophy. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tried to illuminate on these two philosophies very well. What Karma Mimamsa deals with, which is based on rituals and actions and dharma, while as Vaishnava philosophy. Okay, what is our Vaishnava philosophy deals with? Can anyone answer?
We believe in a
Jai
personal
Jai
God.
Masti.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do believe in the personified form of Lord, isn't it? So, and bhakti and devotion, these are the keywords, and the devotion of Lord, isn't it? So, it highlights there is a tremendous diversity, and we do celebrate. No? So, this tremendous diversity in our Vedic philosophical injunctions and traditions and varied approaches, the ethos, the ethics, and spirituality amongst the readers. So, yes, why there are two philosophies? It was because of avidya, isn't it? So, devotees, they are Gyani. So, Gyan is the side product in the Bhakti Yoga. And with the other ones, those who do follow Karma Mimamsa, okay, so or Asat Karyavad, they do follow, they do fail victim because of avidya. Okay. And so this Asat Karyavad invites us to recognize the illusory facets of the material universe, revealing that what we perceive as permanence stems from a misguided attachment to this fleeting platform. Okay, so there are a few counter examples and logical refutations for the Satkaryavad stance. As Prabhuji said, it is in the Govind Bhashya, which is being written by Baladev Vidyabhushan, isn't it, in these commentaries. So it has been refuted quite well, and it is at depth in the length and breadth. It has been explained, and uh, it was just explained like the relationship between a father and son, or a hammer fracturing a pot. So these illustrations, they do demonstrate the effects, do not necessarily embody the essence of their causes, thereby critically undermining the materialist perspective. So, okay, it is our very rich heritage. Our acharyas, they have given us, yeah, Charuchandra Prabhuji tries to, percolate at quite depth these particular fundamental concepts of our Vaishnava philosophy. Yeah, the sixth point amongst the 7 points, the distinction between Satkaryavad and Asatkaryavad. The sixth point is the indirect nature of Vedic teachings, isn't it? So there are arguments and about how this transitory nature of the material world, uh, it has been there, okay, and the fruits of karma, and which resonate with Asat Karyavad argument that ultimately the material universe is but a fleeting manifestation. Okay, so the philosophical pluralism, yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, it deals with these diverse viewpoints, and they can coalesce and thrive in harmony depending on the context of understanding. Okay, the devoted practitioner acknowledges that this material world possesses a degree of reality, yet remains, it is eternal, yet remains inherently temporary, and fosters meaningful engagement while recognizing its limitations. Okay, this dual awareness cultivates a richer spiritual practice rooted in both the tangible and the transcendent. So the conclusion is very important. So what we had discussed, and Prabhuji has said, the analysis of Satkaryavad and Asatkaryavad reveals a profound philosophical discourse on the nature of reality, eternality, while Satkaryavad emphasizes the continuity and reality of the material world that is derived from the eternal source, and Asat Karyavad critiques this view by highlighting the temporary nature, the illusory nature of, or the ignorance of this material world. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary provides a framework that navigates these complex ideas, and it has been woven so nicely and acknowledges the importance of context, the role of ignorance, and ultimately transcendental nature of reality beyond this material realm. So this verse 36, it was at quite length discussed by Prabhuji so well. Then is about the 37th verse, talked about grasping the illusory essence of the universe. Okay, so how it is the illusory nature of the world. So there are the 6 points which were covered. First, transience of the universe. So impermanence of this universe, then illusory nature of reality, what we do call it as Maya or Mahamaya, this and intelligence versus ignorance. Okay, so these 3 points, the transience of the universe. Okay, so can anyone explain about this?
This shows that universe is neither eternal
Yeah.
nor changeable, and it was brought into existence during the phase inhalation, and though it is for temporary, but everything within the universe is bound and limited lifespan.
Yeah,
So this is the nature of this existence. That's what shows.
yeah, yeah. As per Vedic philosophies, as per explanation in Vedas and support from BBT philosophies and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, yes, the universe, it is being created and it has got the limited lifespan, and it has been taken up during annihilation and again created by Lord himself. In the second point, illusory nature of reality. In ISKCON, yeah, we are concerned with this particular point, Maya, isn't it? So, um, jaha hai Maya, okay, waha hai andhakar, isn't it? So, andhakar means there is no devotion. Okay, so Prabhuji said that uh, when we look away from the Lord Himself, there starts the impact of Maya, isn't it? So there are only two things: one can be in devotional service, or one can be victim of Maya. Okay, so there is no in between. Okay, yes or no. So that is only the thing. It has been possible. So the essence remains unchanged. That highlights the superficial appearances deceive. Then about intelligence and ignorance. Devotees, they are intelligent, they are gyanis, and they know what is the nature of this supreme world, how is the supreme lord, while as the karma mimamsakas, they do not understand about this material world. So these two are the extremes, and yes, and here as per VCT, it has been seen that we are not missing these two extremes, and he has properly put down um, ignorance and maya in between. Okay, so as per this 37th verse, scriptural validation, there are proofs by Shrutis in Rigveda, Chandogya Upanishad, that validity of this particular statement. And the philosophical analogies, they are explained properly. The powerful analogy of clay versus gold serves to clarify that while material forms undergo constant change, the core substance remains immutable. Okay, like in yogurt, there is a milk, isn't it? So Prabhuji has said. And yes, the pot which has been created from clay, there is clay in the pot also. In the jewelry, there is a gold also. Okay, so this compelling imagery urges readers to recognize that material labels such as clay or gold are merely superficial and do not capture the ultimate spiritual reality. And these distinctions distract from the true nature of these objects. So the sixth point is the differential philosophical interpretation of this verse, isn't it? And we do accept these two, um, these two schools of thought and philosophies, and in essence, the profound philosophical insight of this distinguishes the temporary, illusory character of material verse from the everlasting reality of the Supreme Lord and His spiritual domain. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's teachings, underpinned by authoritative scriptural citation, challenge one to confront the folly of conflating fleeting material forms with the ultimate truth. So, by understanding the universe as merely a transient manifestation, one can cultivate a profound appreciation for spiritual truths, illuminating the awe-inspiring eternal reality of the Supreme Lord that transcends mere appearances. So, what we saw in 36 and 37, 36 is about Satkaryavan and Asatkaryavan, the distinction between these two philosophies, these two schools of thoughts. And the 37 especially added illusory nature of this material world, or avidya. The reason behind this is why there are two schools of philosophies, and it has been justified by our philosophy. Then it was 38th verse. The in this particular verse, first, there are 6 points covered. The nature of the material world, isn't it? So, can anyone explain this point?
So when we
Uh,
talk of the material world, it is governed by the three modes of material nature, the Rajogun, Tamogun, and the Sattvagun. And the Jivatma is throughout bounded by these Prakriti's gunas, and it is always in this perpetual cycle of birth and death. So, material world is very binding. Like Jivatma is always bounded here in the material world.
Yeah, it's very nice. So, material world that is known as Mahamaya, it includes Jivatmas and Prakriti, isn't it? So, Jivatma is controlled by three gunas of Prakriti. Just now, Santa Mataji has said, and we do call it as Sansara. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the Sansara is Davanat, isn't it? So, by piercing through this illusion, one can shatter the chains of material bondage and reclaim their spiritual essence. So the distinction between Atma and Paramatma, isn't it? So can it be explained?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Madhutana.
Yes.
Okay, Atma and Paramatma actually qualitatively equal, Mataji. Okay, but Atman, okay, and its nature, okay, can become engaged by ignorance. Okay, Paramatma remains untouched by Maya. Okay,
Perfect.
it is like Atma is like Anu, Paramatma is like mountain or Vibhu. Yeah. So, but the qualitatively, the nature is same. Like we give so many examples with like a ring and gold mountain, Mataji. Yeah, it is exactly similar to that. Okay, and Paramatma, Maya is always in the control of Paramatma, but but uh, but because of our material nature, as Mataji mentioned, like we need most of the times we are come under Maya. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, you are properly aligned with the philosophy. Thank you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Mother.
Hare
So
Krishna.
the very nice example is a given. Jiva, as Prabhuji was mentioning, it's a minute, right? Anu and Vibhu we are talking
Yeah.
about. So since we are very minute, we are influenced. And example given very nicely, a gold, there's smoke covers that gold, it disappears. But, the same thing like a sun, right? It doesn't do. So Lord being all full, all that impact felt is negligence, right? So that is what is, even though qualitatively we are the same. So that example is very nice, like, it's which is a given here, like gold and the smoke, it can cover, but the sun, it doesn't, that smoke doesn't cover the entire, right? When the sun is there. So that is very nice. So that gives idea that how we are minute, insignificant, our influence is very small, and that is why it can come easily under the control of three modes of material nature, even though we are spiritual part of the Lord, right? That's what is the underlying philosophy. Always we discuss that. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. It has been quite crystal clear, Prabhuji, the distinction between Atman and Paramatman. Yes, you said. Yeah, both they are qualitatively one, but Paramatman is untouched by Maya, and Jivatma is covered by the layers of ignorance. Okay, and yes, the transient nature of Jivatma, whereas the eternal nature of Paramatma. Thank you, Radhavindra Prabhuji. Then third point is about Mahamaya and Yogamaya. So, what happens? What is impacted in this life of non-devotees as about controlled by Mahamaya, while as with Lord and his exalted devotees, Yogamaya controls. So, can anyone put on this light on this point?
Yog Maya is Mataji divine energy of God, and Mahamaya is the extension of Yog Maya, and the Jivatma is binded by Yog Maya, while Paramatma is untouched by it, by Mahamaya. Jivatma is bound by Maya, but Paramatma is Maya is under control of Paramatma.
Yes.
And means Yog Maya is power. It is a power, but as far as Yog Maya is concerned, Yog Maya is related with the material words. I think so.
Thank you, Rajkumari Mataji.
Yogamaya is the internal potency of Lord, and sometimes he
Perfect.
bewilders the devotees and Lord also. And Mahamaya is bewildered the ignorant person, and he keeps away the Lord more and more. He gives
Yeah.
all facilities to away from the Lord.
Yes. Yes.
And also one point Prabhuji mentioned, like Mahamaya exactly actually came from Yogamaya.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is also Prabhuji mentioned to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Partial
but
expansion.
here we are talking about, the same previous, the point that is the ignorance, right? That is the point which has been further elaborated here. So Yogmaya being the Lord energy, so that it doesn't influence, right? So it has got a clear cut Satya. It's always in such stage. So it has all that characteristics. Whereas the Mahamaya, which is coming, and it's very nicely mentioned, it's a partial expansion. It's not a full expansion. It's like a Yogmaya, but it's a partial expansion, and it influences as the three modes of material nature, and we get bewildered. That is where the ignorance comes into us, right? That is what ultimately point here is, that ignorance, from where the ignorance is showing up, right? That's what is the point taken down here.
Yeah.
Let me interject here. Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Yogamaya is internal potency. Krishna's internal potency, composed of you know these three kinds of energies that is there, right? um, Main thing is that it gives particularly the energy, the jnana potency of the internal potency. The jnana gives saves devotees, and to come back to him, how fast and how easily they can come to the Supreme Lord. So that is there, and it's also a very blissful life is there. Now, the question is, both Maya bewilders, okay? Mahamaya bewilders non-devotees. Yogamaya bewilders devotees. In fact, the difference between the bewilderment, you need to clearly understand that the living entities who are not taken shelter of Krishna and always in the material consciousness, they are very easily bewildered. And there, another feature that one of you pointed out, that takes you away from Krishna, so that we can enjoy material world, carry out material desires. However, Yogamaya also bewilders devotees. But what is the difference between that? It's because so that the Lord and the devotee, they can relish the different rasas, Vatsalya rasa, Sakya rasa, and all this rasas, See, Yashoda Maya, if she knew the Krishna, many people told her that your son is the supreme person of Godhead. She said, no, my son, he is just my son, actually, because in that bewilderment by Yogamaya, she and Krishna could participate in Vatsalya Rasa. Okay? So that is the main thing. Sometimes Krishna also allows Yogamaya to bewilder him for momentarily, so that he can enjoy, he can participate in these various rasas. So that is what you need to understand. Bewilderment is both, but the bewilderment of the devotee is completely different. The bewilderment of non-devotees. All right. Everybody's clear on that?
Yes, Raji. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, the point you mentioned is very nice. Antarmukh, Bahirmukh, right? When you are with the Lord, you enjoy with the rasa, and then he is with you. Bahirmukh, he throws away to Maya, and Maya runs through Sadguna, Rajguna, Tamoguna, and he keeps you running through that only, right? Conditions you. Very nice.
Mahamaya takes you away from Krishna,
Yes.
where Yogamaya takes towards Krishna.
Towards Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. We are
Nicely
attached
explained.
with the आनंद के सागर करुणा के सागर तो
Yeah.
हमें कंटिन्यूस वो ब्लिस अंदर मिलती ही रहेगी.
Very
Yes.
important point, Prabhu. Yeah.
Very
Even
important
though,
point. It
yeah,
takes
Yogamaya is a
towards.
Maya, it is bringing towards Krishna. That is what Yashoda Mata is. Okay, so strong connection to Krishna. Yeah. Again, that is through Maya. So wonderful point.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, soul tries to pursue material satisfaction, and Mahamaya helps. As soul tries to attain the equilibrium, and while the Supreme Soul remains serenely detached and comes under the influence of Yogamaya. Such interpretations about Mahamaya and Yogamaya, Jivatman and Paramatman, they are discussed well, and they are this critical distinction between Mahamaya and Yogamaya is essential to understand the spiritual entrapment and liberation. Okay, the insight shared by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Bhaktivedanta Gupta's commentaries go beyond mere philosophical discourse. They serve as a transformative guide, inspiring seekers to awaken their true spiritual identity, transcending the illusions of the material world. Yes, it was about 38. Then this is now 39. There are 7 points covered. So there are the spiritual paths such as renunciation in yoga, and while failing to fully eradicate their material desires, here's a more compelling breakdown of this point. So impurity from material desires. No, so it is of very high level. Yeah, it talks about sannyasis who harbor remnants of material desires, remain tainted, impeding their spiritual growth and obscuring their connection to the divine. Okay, so the second point is the consequences of desires for sense gratification. So the sadhakas or the practitioners who pursue yoga solely for sensory pleasure are destined to experience suffering in both this life and the next. So this text underlines that such individuals inescapably remain trapped in samsara. So one will be trapped in the cycle of birth and death again and again, and there will be karmic repercussions. And this path of devotional service, it will be very difficult if one has got so material desires. So there are practitioners who do follow the spiritual path, like Gyanis, who do understand about the Brahman nature and what is true renunciation and what is role is explained as we follow in ISKCON the 4 regulative principles such as illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and etc. So these desires, what we want to pursue for sense enjoyment, material enjoyment, for fame, prestige, we do feel victim and we do suffer. Okay, so the various forms of suffering that are explained like hunger, disease, and ultimately the spiritual desolation that stems from forgetting one's sacred relationship with Lord. So we get so entangled and in those cycles of emotional cycles, and we do forget our connection with the Supreme, and it creates a vacuum in our life. So hypocrisy in renunciation, how it is with, and it is being explained quite well as per Mundak Upanishad that worldly desires lead to perpetual rebirth and suffering, reinforcing the notion that true renunciation demands a complete metamorphosis of desires. Okay, as we have aligned our understanding as per the Shastra in this discussion. So similarly, We have to align our desires with the desires of Lord, our gurus, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, etc. And the conclusion is it deals with the imperative of genuine renunciation and the perils of incomplete spiritual practices. So it conveys a profound philosophical insight. True spiritual progress necessitates an inner transformation. So Prabhuji said, na antarmukh. So free from the snares of material desires, and this understanding can serve as a powerful source of inspiration and motivation for practitioners seeking to embark on a meaningful spiritual journey and happy journey. So thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Charu Prabhuji. Thank you, Sharad
So
Prabhuji.
beautifully handled, Mataji. Very beautifully handled.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much.
Very nice.
Mataji, very nicely done.
Yeah, exactly. Within very
Yes,
short time,
Mataji,
half an
very
hour, you have done
wonderful.
everything, Mataji. Very nice.
Thank you. I thought Prabhuji put so much of energy, so why we should not have a little bit more energy? So with
No, no, it's very nice.
enthusiasm today.
It's not easy
Mataji, I have one
philosophy.
small question, Prabhuji, just very quick, as we are closing on this one. So there's an example of son to father to son and gold to gold ornament, but there's an example of hammer and that,
Hammer and
so what is that indicates, Prabhuji, exactly? Hammer and the broken pot. So both are different, right? Gold and gold part, items we can understand. Father and son can understand.
Tell you
Why the
honestly,
hammer is brought?
to tell you honestly, I also didn't understand that analogy. Maybe Sharad Prabhuji can explain that. What is that? I did not actually understand that. That's
Yeah,
why I didn't think.
my maybe speculation, Prabhuji, or maybe Sharatorji can talk. Hammer, karya. So cause and effect, right? That is the essence there. Cause.
It's
Father is a
Karya.
cause, son is like that. Effect is there. But here, hammer and the broken pot. Cause is a hammer, but a broken pot is a broken. It is no more a pot there. It destructs. It's a destruction. So maybe the cause and effects are not same. That may be the example. That's what I was thinking,
This
but
is
I'm
Asat
not sure.
Karyavada.
Huh.
Asat Karyavada. Maybe there you're right. Probably that's the way it is explained that. But
Yeah.
I did not understand at the time when I studied that.
Yeah. Okay.
But nonetheless, let's
Okay,
let's
thank
move
you.
on now. Because
Okay, thank you.
I got so much to cover. Oh, Sarot Prabhu, you want to add anything there? Sarot Prabhu, welcome back. I missed you very much. I missed you very much.
Yes, Prabhuji, we too.
Yes, we too, Prabhuji. Welcome back, Prabhuji.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome
Sharad
back. Welcome back, Prabhu. Sharad Prabhuji.
Yes,
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Haribo.
You pray for all of us, Prabhu.
Yes, yes.
For this group, Prabhu. For this group, Saturday, Sunday, Bhagavatam.
Okay. So welcome back, Sarot Prabhuji. Let's start today's class. Let me first share my screen with you. Okay. So the last portion we are going to do today, lesson 133B, the 7th point. That's before it was actually verse 42 to 50, but then I divided that because the 36, 30 up to 40 was too much, because the philosophy was tough. So that's why I split that. So the conclusion portion is actually verse 42 to 50, So the Shrutis, they're continuing up to verse 41, right? So 40 and 41 we'll discuss about it, and then rest is very easy. So what I decided to do, first to let you give you the gist of today's whole class, right? It's everything about devotees and how Krishna favors his devotees over somebody else, or others, who are non-devotees. Particularly, the example is given of the devotees and sannyasi, right? Sannyasi is in the impersonal sannyasis we are talking about, not the Vaishnava sannyasis, right? And the main difference, both are So let's say both are fallen down. And yet the devotee who is fallen down, Krishna gives repeated chances and Krishna help him to get him back again into the bhakti path. That's a wonderful treatment. In fact, that verse Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes from Bhagavad Gita 9:30, what is that verse? Su apichet duracharo, su apichet duracharo. The worst to worst come offense a devotee can perform, okay? And yet Krishna warns everyone else not to misjudge him. Mainly su apichet sudraja, and when bhajate mam ananya bhak, if he is engaged in my devotional service very steadfastly, ananya bhak, okay? No other desires serving, but because of the remnants of previous karmas, he might actually commit some, and worst to worst offense even he commits. Krishna warning all of us not to criticize his devotees. That's why he said that mantavya sadhur evacha. You should consider him always sadhu, a highly class placed saintly devotee as such. So that is what he's saying very clearly. But however, when the sannyasi breaks down, he has all these desires, material desires, in his mind, and then still he acts as a great sannyasi, then that is mithyachari. Krishna characterized such a sannyasi as a mithyachari in Bhagavad Gita, and they have to suffer consequences of that. But devotee, when he falls down, and if he's living in Dhama, Mathura, Vrindavan, then Krishna helps him to recover that. And then Krishna goes further and further about how he helps devotees more and more. That is what we are going to see in this today's lesson, right? With some examples. So here, the nature of devotion and liberation. Other thing that is being pointed out here, that devotee, when we are engaged in devotional service, a devotee in good understanding, if he's understood the principles of bhakti, all the things that are happening to him, that may be happening to him, good and bad. When good things happens, he doesn't get inflated, okay? And when bad thing happens, he does not lament so much, all right? That is the one good thing, that the first thing happens, a devotee engage in devotional service, because he's constantly in touch with the Supreme. He's constantly praying him. So he doesn't consider. In fact, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out, if once you are on a devotional platform, all right, it is not his karmas. Devotee's indifference to his karmas and all these things. What is suffering or is enjoying something. Enjoy means good thing happens to him. It's not because of the karmas, but Krishna is doing that thing to bring him closer and closer to him. If he's a great devotee, Krishna gives him some material wealth also necessarily. And sometimes even the devotee is suffering, but not because of karma. Everything that is there, Krishna takes care of that and prepares him to come back to the spiritual world. Then also part we'll see that in today's class. So that is what I really liked about it. And last 3-4 days, I've been working on this, preparing PowerPoints, mind maps, and studying very deeply about the Upanishads. And so many things that I'm learning from Upanishads, incredible things, really, that is directly bearing to what we are going to be discussing in today's lesson. This what is the shocking thing that I heard? I learned in this Upanishads, because Upanishad all this time, particularly Brahman, is kind of like impersonal Brahman, right? But there is within the impersonal Brahman, there is a personal aspect of it. That is what I learned in this Upanishad. And within few weeks, we'll be talking about this Upanishad. Initially, I thought I'll give 2 lessons, but now it turns out there are 64 slides, right? 64 slides. To do it in 2 lessons, it's next to impossible. So that's why, in order to do justice, I need 4 lessons, okay? And that's why, again, I'm going to consult all of you towards the end of the class and see what you feel like, all right? 2 lessons, we are already talking about the Shadadarshana, all right? The 6 philosophies, Vedic philosophies. Uh, uh, and this one, I need 4 lessons. And you'll really be very amazed how much our Vaishnava sannyasi, Maharaj passed away, of course, in 2007, Suhatra Swami Maharaj. And he has written so many wonderful, wonderful articles, actually. I have followed him for many, many years. Even Bhagavatam study guides, I utilized Suhatra Maharaj notes about that, So he has written this both articles, Shadadarshana and this Upanishads also, So there, I was surprised to learn that here the impersonal Brahman within it actually hidden the the bhakti part of it. In fact, it's not just impersonal, even the personal aspect of the Lord is right there in Brahman. That was the shocking thing that I learned about that. You will see that. Um, so, okay, not to spend time on the Upanishad right now. Let's focus on this lesson. So here, so I already gave you the gist of it. It's all about devotees, how they are protected by Krishna, not necessarily the non-devotees. So here, the nature of the devotion and liberation. Devotees don't care about liberation, even though Krishna is willing to liberation of anyway comes to him when he comes to spiritual platform, but he is more after beyond liberation because he wants to continue even in liberated stage. He wants to continue serving the Supreme Lord. That's the beauty part of it. Because there's a why? Because there's a complete bliss is there. The tremendous feeling of joy is there in devotion and the personal aspect of Shri Krishna. So here, let's go. This is the 7 points in this realization of the divine. This passage forcefully asserts that upon realizing the supreme being, a devotee shifts into a state of profound indifference. See, that's what I was telling you. He is totally indifferent when devotee goes to that stage. Even the difficulties comes, and one of the lessons you later on will be learning when we come to the 11th canto, that actually the material difficulties when it comes to devotee's life, in fact, that propels him further ahead in the devotional path. The difficulties are actually very, very helpful to move forward. Because as Kunti Mata says, when difficulties comes, we tend to turn towards Krishna for help, protection, so on like that. So that's the positive aspect of it, Um, so he is indifferent, and also Krishna is Krishna's actions in devotee's life. Krishna, suppose sometimes creates difficulties so he can come closer to him, closer and closer to him. And it's not because of his karmas. Karmas already resolved. It's just to bring him closer, And sometimes he give wealth also, and facilities also. That also, because he knows which devotee is going to be able to utilize that wealth, knowledge, intellect in his service. So this transformative realization signifies a liberation from the chains of external circumstances, where one's spiritual state and emotional well-being are no longer at the mercy of prior actions. So prior karmas has nothing to do in the devotee's life when he gets some good things or some not so good things. It's nothing to do with the karmas at that level. So that's one good point. Control of fortune. It boldly proclaims that both favorable and unfavorable fortunes, good things and not so good things, are under the omnipotent control of the divine. Krishna directly takes charge of his life. A devotee who has remember I told you, and Srila Prabhupada says in one of the purport actually, that tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mama upayanti te. So Krishna directly charged in the super soul is there, but super soul, Krishna's internal potency takes, and that's I told you, eternity. Once the bhakti starts, it never ends, and that Samavit Shakti gives him that intelligence, knowledge by which he can come closer and closer to him. And then finally bliss. So that is the three segments of internal potency, Yoga Maya. So devotees attain realization, grasp the profound truth that their life experiences are meticulously orchestrated. See that this flowery words is actually AI. It's not. I would not use that kind of thing. I would put it straight in my own words. What it means actually, orchestrated means some musician is all controlling all the musicians, right? To put them in a harmony and gives the music like that. So Krishna directly takes charge. He orchestrates his all activities in devotee's life at that point, transcending mere outcomes of their karma. So that karma has no role to play at that point. Now we are, of course, newcomers, but even sadhakas, newcomers' life, Krishna starts taking charge of it, his life. Perspective. So this is a great incentive for us to remain and keep moving forward on devotional path. That for me it is a great incentive. After learning all these things, more and more faith becomes stronger and stronger. This way, when we learn this shastra and we associate with devotee who gives such classes, it helps us a lot. Our acharyas explain intricacies of shastra. Sometimes controversies are there, as we learned in the Satkaryavada, how the Shrutis themselves are subscribing to such diametrically opposite philosophies, but it is context driven, and we saw that. So this is what a great thing. Our acharyas commentaries help us to understand, and that strengthen our resolve to keep moving forward in the devotional path, and we help those need help. Perspective on praise and criticism. For a devotee, for a true devotee, the judgments of others, now that is the worst thing we should do. We never judge. Devotees should not judge others. Let Krishna handle. If somebody is not done so good, we pray that Krishna protects him. Krishna gives him necessary intelligence and something that is doing good things. You glorify. So true devotee and the judgment of others, be they praise or criticism, hold no weight. They embody a deep humility, recognizing that any qualities attributed to them, whether positive or negative, are simply reflections of others' perception, not the ultimate truth of their being. So, just like that verse, Su apicheta duracharo, bhajate mam, and the second part of the is even more important. Krishna says, Don't misjudge him. Don't judge him. Said, but in fact, he should always be considered, even though worst offense he commits, even though if he's continually engaged by devotional service, you should consider him as sadhu. So that's what this particular third point is all about. That it's none of our business to criticize another devotee. Fourth point, the power of devotional service, bhakti. Bhakti is the constant fuel to keep moving forward towards Krishna. And it's a shield to protect against Maya. Maya is waiting. Any loophole she'll grab it. So devotee is very, very careful about that. So bhakti emerges not merely a practice, but as a potent transformative force. So that word transfer, bhakti is transformative. It completely transforms what we were before and what we are going to be moving forward. The very personality, Swabhava, is going to be changed. That's called transformative nature of bhakti. In fact, I'm thinking about the title of my dissertation. I'm going to use that word transformative. To relinquish material desires and achieve a state of liberation. Apavarga. Actually, it's apavarga. That's pavarga means all the difficulties, attraction in the material world. It becomes when you have a prefix, everything is reversed totally. So in devotion, he becomes liberated, free from the repercussions of their actions. So this portrayal of devotion serves as a beacon of hope. It gives an incentive for the move forward in devotional service. When some medicine works, when we are having some disease, when the medicine works prescribed by a doctor, then you get faith in that medicine. You trust that medicine, and you take extra precaution to take it as it is recommended. So you become inspired to move forward in bhakti. Because bhakti is working for you, get you in better kind of desirable qualities you develop, desirable personality, traits of personality you develop, and that becomes conducive to moving forward on devotional path, inviting all to embrace its life-altering potential. That's life-altering potential. That's called transformative ability. Bhakti has that. Comparison with impersonalist. So now, as I told you in the beginning of the class, I gave the gist of it, that Krishna is favoring his devotees. So both, even an advanced sannyasi, but if he is fallen down, he gets terrible reactions. But the devotee who is fallen down, right? Krishna gives him more chances to get up and move forward in devotee. He sends another devotee to help him out. So that is what is comparison with impersonalist. So one who is that's what, as a person, devotee worships the Lord as a person, not just in person. So it draws a vivid contrast between the journeys of neophyte devotees and impersonalists. So even a neophyte devotee, Krishna protects him. Those who cling to philosophy of formlessness, there is impersonal aspect of it. But when I give even the very Upanishads by its very nature talks mostly about impersonal aspect of Brahman realization, right? But within Brahman realization, what I'm going to tell you, Suhatra Maharaj, this very scholarly written essay, amazing things you will see that. Amazing things. In fact, it's not impersonal Brahman. In fact, right there's a hidden part of it where it is personal aspect of it. That was I was surprised that, really, frankly. The impersonal sannyasi endures suffering rooted in their attachment to materialism and the lack of authentic devotion. This is we are talking about Mithyachari sannyasis. Scriptural reference. So, I see the verse 930, we already talked about it, and from Bhagavad Gita. Then there's the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Bhagavatam, this is from the Uddhav Gita. Between the two worshippers, the fallen sannyasi and the fallen devotee living in Mathura, the impersonal sannyasi is criticized and the devotee is praised by the Lord. That's a striking example I came across. You see in these verses. This text reaffirm that true faith and devotion is recognized and rewarded by the Lord. See how Lord favors even a neophyte devotee, even he commits mistakes, Lord protects him. But not so a sannyasi. If that sannyasi falls down, not so. So devotee helps independent of past transgressions. Role of hearing and chanting. That is our lifeline. Sadhu Sangha and sadhus always encourage us to continue improving the quality of our chanting and hearing Krishna's sweet, wonderful pastimes. Because hearing those pastimes constantly takes away those factors that are creating obstacles on our path, bhakti path. Which are they? The modes of Rajoguna, Tamoguna, which the outer manifestation is a Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, the 6 enemies of the mind. So Krishna takes away those obstacles, the influence of those obstacles, and put us in the Sattva Guna. And through Sattva Guna comes to pure Sattva Guna. And then he gives the science of Krishna, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. That's how Krishna helped a devotee through this simply hearing Krishna Katha, his sweet, wonderful pastimes. That is the potency of his pastimes. Conclusions. Though through the enlightening lens of bhakti, it becomes evident that true liberation and the grace of the divine are accessible even to those who stumble. See how merciful Krishna is there. A neophyte devotee, even the beginning stage, he makes many mistakes. And Krishna is very, very, patient with him, merciful him, sends senior devotees in his life, and always keeps giving more and more opportunities to continue moving forward on the bhakti path. Provided their hearts remain devoted. That's the condition. You continue remaining devoted means what? Continue hearing Krishna Katha, continue having association with the advanced devotees. If you do these two things, then Krishna is always with you. He never leaves unprotected his devotees. He, remember that yoga kshemam vahamyam. He gives that we lack and he protects what we already have. Incomprehensibility of the Supreme. Now, this is also wonderful in this final concluding verses. It's nice dialogue taking place between the Shrutis and Narayana. What happens? Shrutis finally they're coming to the conclusion, okay, and they're saying that Lord, you have so unlimited qualities. Even the demigods, chief demigods like Brahma, Lord Shiva, they cannot even completely describe your wonderful transcendental attributes, transcendental qualities. So who are we? Shrutis are very, very in a humble mood. They are admitting their shortcomings, You cannot. So Lord, in fact, Lord was very pleased all this with his 28 Shrutis and said, no, don't keep continuing. You will not feel the shortcomings. So Shrutis are saying, how come Lord, you yourself don't know your own qualities, the limit of your qualities. Now, so Krishna gives a wonderful, nice answer to you that no, you just keep doing that, and you will get. And then there's a nice example is given, rabbit with the horns. So what is the significance of that analogy? That, as you all we know, rabbits don't have horns, right? Everybody knows rabbits have big ears, not the horns. So if you are ignorant of that, something that does not exist, that's not ignorance. That's the example. So that connection with that unlimited quality, this thing, Lord's attributes, qualities, Krishna can, he may not himself do it, but his devotees, he gives that knowledge, you know. So that's the wonderful part of it. So Shrutis are saying that if the Lord, you are ignorant what they're saying, but it's like rabbit with the horn. What is the significance of that negative thing that does not even hold the truth? You don't need to worry about that which does not exist. Rabbit doesn't have the horn. But why then knowing that whether rabbit has a horn or not, what significance does it hold? You know. So ignorance of that which is not a reality has no significance of it. Conclusion: though the enlightening lens of bhakti, it becomes evident that true liberation and the grace of the divine are accessible even to those who stumble. We make so many mistakes in our sadhana stage, so many mistakes. But Krishna is very patient, okay? And he gives repeated opportunities. Why Krishna? Many times people ask question, why is this Krishna does this, creates, maintains, and then destroys, and then again does same cycle again, keep repeating. Why? So our acharyas explain one reason is this: Krishna gives unlimited opportunities all of us, life after life after life after life, to shape up and shed those material desires, transform into spiritual desires. And the trick is keep hearing Krishna Katha. In some lifetimes, he sends Guru, self-realized soul in our life. And that's the beginning process. We come to devotional platform. And once we come to devotional platform, it never ends. It keeps moving forward. So there is the repeated opportunities it gives life after life. And some life we get out of this vicious cycle. Ultimately, this text passionately advocates for a continuous engagement in the glorification and remembrance of God, remembrance of Krishna. And that's what Shrutis are doing. In fact, Shrutis are last verses that we'll come across towards the very end. Remember, they are praying to Lord Narayana. They're reawakening Lord Narayana to start the next cycle of creation. Okay? So when they started last verse, they actually said Krishna, name Krishna. So Lord Narayana is saying that, in fact, there is Narad Muni. After describing all this thing, Narad Muni, remember when Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, how is the mind can actually describe this Vedas, Shruti, the mind is on a material platform. But the very last verse, when everything is done, all this describing all the 28 Shrutis, glorification of the Supreme Lord, then final verse, Sukadeva Goswami tells that this very mind can indeed describe the Shrutis described like that's right. Why? Because that mind is now engaged in Krishna's service. Before it was mind was in a material platform, but now the same mind, where body-mind complex is the cause as well as it is the remedy. So now it said that, look, now do you realize, Parikshit, that this mind can indeed describe Shri Krishna and bhakti process. So that is how he concludes that. So Narad Muni, now praising Krishna, he is listening, okay, Lord Narayana, and that is the Narayan Rishi actually. Not Narayan Rishi, Narayan Rishi. So Narayan Rishi, VCT Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, giving in his purport, that Narayan Rishi might be asking him that why are you praising Krishna? I am your guru, and I'm standing in front of you, and you're praising Krishna. So Narad Muni is saying that Krishna, you are his incarnation. Krishna is so many incarnations, you are his part, and so you're a wonderful, But Krishna is existed before and after. Krishna is the origin of all incarnations. So that way, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that wonderful. I like that very much. Okay, text 40. The role, we are continuing the last point of the 7th point, the role of hearing and chanting. That we already discussed that. Okay, it's a repeat of that. So text 41, incomprehensibility of the Supreme. Again, I already discussed about that. Remember that how do Krishna is beyond, we cannot completely describe all these qualities. But when the Shruti said that even the demigods cannot do, how can we do it? So then Krishna said, and the Lord Narayan tells them that no, if you continue, and you'll be able to describe my qualities, everything. So this verse is about that. This passage captures the all-sparing essence of Lord Narayana, whose magnificence surpasses the understanding of even the most exalted celestial beings like Lord Brahma and the demigods. It evokes a deep sense of wonder by unveiling so even the demigods cannot describe, but Lord glorifies the Shrutis that you will be able to do that. Even though I may not be able to do myself, but by my mercy, you'll be able to describe my glories. That really touched my heart tremendously. The role of the Shrutis. The Shrutis play a pivotal role in the profound quest to comprehend the absolute truth. They define the divine through blend of descriptive insights and the purposeful negations while acknowledging their inherent limitations. That's what I told you. Shrutis are themselves in a very humble mood saying, Lord, we cannot describe all your qualities. The great demigods could not do that, So they ultimately glorify the Supreme in reflecting the philosophical principle of Atan Nirashanam. So this is what this particular thing, Atan means that. Atan means that of that. Okay. And Nirasanam means, rasa means, you all understand, Nirasanam. The nice way to explain is this analogy is given there, wonderful analogy that suppose you are looking for a gold ring, okay? Your gold ring is lost in that certain area, the grass and everything is there in jungle, How do you find that? So it's a process of elimination. You start separating dirt, grass, everything, because that's not gold. You're after gold, right? So things that is unrelated to what you're looking for, you take it away, eliminate that. And then the probability of finding gold, your gold ring, will keep on increasing gradually. The same way here also. There's something unrelated, take it away. And you will be able to concentrate, focus more on Krishna. So anything unrelated to Krishna, the devotees don't play much role in that. They don't care about it. So they eliminate those aspects of it in their life. So they are increasing the probability of finding Krishna. And Krishna is always there to help them. So that is what this phrase is all about. Atan, atan being that, of that which is distinct from absolute truth. Something that is not connected with absolute truth, you don't care about it. Eliminate that. You are increasing the probability of finding absolute truth. Just like that analogies, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives that, that finding a gold in the area is like a needle, finding a needle in a haystack, right? So you gradually take away that is nothing to do with the gold. And more you take away those, eliminate those things, you are increasing the probability of finding that gold ring. Exactly. That analogy, if you get fixed in your mind, you'll be able to understand this wonderful, wonderful truth. That anything non-related, unrelated with Krishna, devotees don't pay attention to it. They keep eliminating those things. And they're coming closer and closer to Krishna. That process of eliminating and understanding, this is what it is. I solve this crossword puzzles. I play Sudoku also. And that's exactly what, the things that I find the right answer, how I find my right answers. Start doing process of elimination. And thereby you're increasing the probability of finding the right answer. In the taking an objective test also like that in exam, that I learned it 50 years back. In India, there's a essay type question, right? But in America, when I went, there are objective questions. There are 5 answers are given, only 1 answer is right. So only 20% probability of getting right? How do you pick that? So you start judging them. You may not remember the right answer, but you know the other 4 answers are wrong. So you start eliminating that. And you are increasing the probability of 20% to 50%. Then even if you pick 1, you have 50% probability of being right. That's how you score high in objective test. Process of elimination in understanding. By employing a method of elimination akin to unearthing jewels from their rough surroundings. See that example. The Shrutis guide seekers to pursue Brahman, the absolute, by shedding misconception and material distractions. Anything that doesn't help you moving forward in bhakti, don't pay attention to it, neglect, ignore. And you are increasing the chances of moving forward in bhakti. That's the trick. Limitations of human language and the tongue. So now, you see this, the dialogue between Lord Narayana and the personified Shrutis emphasizes the inadequacy of human language to fully encapsulate the divine. So kabhi word is not enough to describe what you have inside you and your heart. Feelings बताई नहीं जाती है, उसकी अनुभूति की जाती है. Only you can feel, experience, then you'll know what their emotions are there. किसी को दिखलाया नहीं जाता है. Well, recognize that their efforts will always fall short without divine mercy. This underscores the essential need for the divine grace in the pursuit of supreme truth. Devotees always are in need for the Lord to intervene. Philosophical insights and the omniscience and omnipotence. And that's again, I told you that when devotees, that Shruti said that we cannot explain you, you're unlimited. So Krishna said, no, by my mercy, you keep trying, keep doing it, and you'll be able to do, even though I myself may not know my glories. That is the great, wonderful, whatever aspect of the Supreme Lord. So this dialogue powerfully conveys that the inability to identify non-entities like rabbit's own that I execute. Rabbit does not have a horn, right? But if you are ignorant of that fact, what could you are not at loss. So that's the negative element of it. Something that does not exist, why remembering it? Does not compromise the Supreme's omniscience and omnipotence. So that's about Krishna's glories. It illustrates that God's infinite nature transcends the human comprehension, with the vastness of the universe serving as a testament to the Supreme's glory. So it is a fact. Krishna's unlimited glories you cannot understand with your limited brain, limited mind. But you keep doing through the lens of bhakti, you go inward, and that same mind will be able to explain who Krishna really is. That's exactly the answer, direct answer. Finally, Sukadeva Goswami gave to Parikshit Maharaj, who's that very question of how do we understand? Mind is a material thing. A material thing cannot describe the transcendence of the Supreme Lord. That was how the whole chapter began. But the ultimate answer was given there by Krishna's glory, Krishna's mercy. Finality of the Vedic conclusion. So the passage concludes with the definitive assertion that all descriptions and praises within the Vedic Vedas ultimately lead to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Collectively, the Vedas aim to exalt him as the source of all existence, knowledge, and bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, final point in this text 40. This is the final verse of the Shrutis. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti underscores the Vedas' limitations in their endeavor to capture the fullness of the Supreme while simultaneously celebrating their glory. He cites specific verses that illustrate the challenge of defining the Absolute, reinforcing the Vedic conclusion that despite the complexity of divine attributes, Bhakti path is like game of chess. You want to learn how to play chess, how the pieces move, how the elephant moves, how the knight moves, how the bishop moves, how the pawns move. That's very easy to explain. Even a 4-year-old kid, you can teach him. But to become a chess master, a grandmaster, that's the difficult aspect. So it's very easy to get on the bhakti path, but to move on to the highest perfection of the bhakti path, that is not easy. You need help from someone, Guru, and Guru is a pratinidhi, representative of the Supreme Lord, and that helps the devotee to move on the difficult path forward. It's like many times I give an analogy. You are driving in a stormy night, right? Very dark, stormy night. And you have no way to finding your destination, but you keep moving. At least your headlight of your car shines about 10 feet in front of you. At least that you can see. So keep following that. And as you move forward and forward, more and more 10-foot distance is getting extending further. So Bhakti Path also, don't worry about, oh, my chanting is not perfect. What can I do? Don't worry, whatever the level you're chanting, you continue that. And Krishna will automatically improve the quality of your chanting. You keep moving forward. Just like you're driving, the headlight distance बताती है, इतना तो follow कीजिए. Conclusion. This passage articulates a profound philosophical insight. What is that profound philosophical insight? The Supreme remains ultimately indescribable, that's a fact, and beyond the grasp of even the highest celestial beings. The Vedas stand as a crucial means to understand and exalt the devotee. So the Lord has actually blessed the Shrutis, these scriptures. Yes, scriptures, there are built-in contradictions are there. They are context-driven, very difficult. But ultimately, Shrutis will get you forward. This Shastra we are learning, all this close to 50 lessons, 50 different courses that we are approaching now. How much we have progressed, just realize that. Only through Shastra. Okay? And with the aid of being explained to us by our acharyas, we are moving forward. So much we learned about Krishna. So much we learned. And yet so much more to be learned. But don't worry. At least whatever you learn, that has tremendously made the difference in your life, transformative portion of the bhakti process. It completely transformed what we were there 25 years, 20 years ago, and what we are now. You judge yourself. Pratyaksha avagamam. Okay, so now it's downhill completely. Very easy. So now Shrutis are completed, okay? So takes 40 to 50, There's a conclusion portion of it. The journey towards pure love of God, verse 42 to 45. 46 to 49, Narad Muni, reverence for Krishna, the supreme Godhead, and the essence of bhakti. And the last verse, the insights of Supreme Lord's mercy and the heart of devotion. So understanding the Supreme Self. So this passage opens with the sons of Brahma receiving profound teaching from Lord Narayana. So now this is remember the Sukadeva Goswami was asked this question by Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami answers by first he explained indirectly Parokshvada. That was not enough. So then he started telling Parikshit Maharaj, the same question you are asking me was asked before. That was Narad Muni asking Lord Narayana, Narayana Rishi. And Narayana Rishi answering Narad Muni's question by saying that in the higher loka, the Sanat Kumara, four Kumaras gathered there in that society, and Sanandana Kumara was answering to others. Okay, and then Sananda Kumara also does not answer. He says that long back at the beginning of creation, the Shrutis started praying. So that's how it went all the way. And Shrutis, with all their 28 Shrutis in verse up to 41, explain everything and explain that yes, indeed, that mind, all the senses, they are by nature, they cannot. They are on a material platform, right? But those very senses in the mind become purified by simply hearing Krishna Katha, glorification of the Lord. Then the same mind and senses are now purified. Now they can really describe who Krishna really is. That is the whole thing. That's the whole thing. The same body-mind complex. Then Krishna gives the necessary. What is that? Four things that Krishna gives. Can you repeat? Anybody remember that? Four things?
Prabhuji, man, buddhi, prana, and man, buddhi, prana, and
Indriya.
senses, indriyas.
Yes. So you utilize those things Krishna has given to you in Krishna's service. And those very things, they are on material platform, they become purified. And you come closer to Krishna in bhakti process. That's the answer actually. So role of the Shrutis, the 28 prayers of personified Shrutis act as a crucial bridge to understanding the Brahma Upanishad. These prayers illuminate the sense of Supreme Being. So these four things, that elements that we just talked about, Krishna provides exactly these four things in a differential manner to the fruity workers, those who are interested in material sense gratification. He gives this thing to give them that knowledge how to utilize in the best possible way to enjoy material things. Okay. To Gyanis, he gives that knowledge, intelligence, so they can study these things, and Jnana portion. But to Bhakta, he gives special consideration. So that is why, so all these four things that we are talking about, utilize proportionately knowing who they are. That's how. So devotees are the best because they understand, they try to understand Krishna, personal form. So Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, the 28th Sutta, Brahma Upanishad, these prayers illuminate the sense of Supreme Being. So in this verses 1 to 41, that's what it explains that. It's not exactly 1 to 41. When the Shrutis begin, that verse onwards. Sages toward the loftiest goal, pure love of God, Bhagavad Prema. This underscores that sacred texts are not mere relics of past. They're not just history like that. They pulsate. Pulsating means what? Vibrating it. Sound vibration. The transcendental sound vibration with meanings, its precise meaning, serving as essential guides for seekers navigating their spiritual path, driving on a stormy night. This Bhavasagara is like a stormy night. And our headlight is what the limited span of distance that you can see. So in Bhakta also, Bhakti path also, we don't know what's ahead of us. But whatever our Guru has taught us, chanting, hearing, sadhu sangha, at least that is like a headlight. And though that very thing keep moving, and you get ahead and ahead, ultimately you reach the final destination. Transformation through instruction. So Narayan Rishi urges Narada to meditate on the essence of the Vedas, the Shrutis, which possesses the extraordinary ability to dissolve material desires. So let's see that again the glorification of the Shrutis. This Shastra you learn already. Look at us. We have been learning so much. Just imagine yourself what when you begin. Some of you joined me 2 decades back. Some of you joined in last decade. Some of you joined in last 5 years. But just compare where from you began and what point you are. बहन जी आप सुन रही है ना बहन जी
Yes, Prabhuji, we are so fortunate.
I'm listening.
तो बहन जी आप पहले क्या थी अब क्या देखिए कितना फर्क हो गया आप में हम सब देख रहे हैं ये सुनने से ना ये सब भागवत कथा आप सुन रही है कितना चेंज हो गया लाइफ में कितना ट्रांसफॉर्म हो
जी
गई है आपकी
अभी हो गई हूँ लेकिन जितना होना
आगे
चाहिए था
जा रहे
उतना
हैं आगे मैंने कहा अभी देखो मैंने एग्जांपल दिया ना कार ड्राइव कर रही है और एकदम स्नोई नाइट है स्नो पड़ रहे आगे आप दिखाई नहीं रहे पर आपकी जो हेडलाइट जहां तक दिखाई देती है आगे बढ़ते जाइए एंड
जी
आगे
जी
का
भाई जी
रास्ता क्लियर होते जाएगा तो ये भागवत कथा सुनने की यही बात है
जी
कुछ बात समझ में नहीं आती है मगर जितनी समझ
हाँ
आती है वहां से आगे बढ़िए और
जी भाई
ये
जी
डिवोटी सब रखिए आप ये सब डिवोटी आपको हेल्प करेगी
जी भाई जी बहुत ज्यादा सब वही हेल्प बहुत
प्रैक्टिकली
हेल्प
आप प्रैक्टिकली अपने आप को कंपेयर कीजिए कि आप कहाँ थी और कहाँ आ गई अब
यस थैंक यू भाई जी थैंक यू आपका
मैं
बहुत
मुझे
बहुत
क्या
और
चाहिए मेरा
अभी
कुछ नहीं है इसमें मेरा कुछ नहीं है मैं
नहीं है
सबका आपके
बात
साथ ही हूँ
भाई जी नहीं जी, वो मुझे पता है और मैं सच में आई एम वेरी लकी कि मुझे आपका और बाकी ये प्रभु जी माता जी इनका साथ मिला
थैंक यू मुझे भी सब कोई किसी ने हेल्प किया तभी मैं ये जगह पे आया हूँ faith and commitment Nar's unwavering acceptance of the Lord's command exemplifies the vital importance of devotion and commitment of spiritual practice his vow vrata reflects a warrior like resolve see that devotees are like warriors they're constantly fighting maya inherent spiritual legacy, referring Narada as a Brahma Dayada means Lord Brahma's son, signifies his intrinsic relationship with the Supreme, akin to an eternal inheritance. This concept reinforces the idea that spiritual realization is not the exclusive domain of a few. देखो माता ये बहुत गोल्डन सेंटर से ही है. ये श्रुति समझना, वेदास को समझना, शास्त्र को समझना, इट्स नॉट जस्ट सिर्फ ज्ञानी ही समझ पाते हैं. हम भी भक्ति द्वारा हम ये समझ आए, भगवान खुद हमें समझाते हैं. ऑटोमेटिक ये इसकी मीनिंग रियलाइजेशन, ज्ञान और विज्ञान हमारे अंदर की आत्मा, हमारे अंदर की जो हृदय है उसको रोशन रोशन कर देती है. इसमें पावर है, पोटेंसी है. श्रुतिज आर ब्लेस्ड बाय द लॉर्ड. ये शास्त्र, इसमें सबसे शास्त्र किंग है भागवतम. अगर भगवान को जानना है तो भागवत इस भगवान का साक्षात वांग्मय रूप है. भगवान खुद भागवत की एक एक वर्ष में भगवान छिपे हुए हैं. डिफरेंशियल अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द वेदास. सो ये जो purport है, I'm giving you both, BBT purports and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And lately I'm focusing more on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. तो ये थोड़ा ऐसा लगता है कि differential interpretation, but it's not differential interpretation, not even differential understanding, but कहाँ focus की जाती है. जो श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर है ना, उनकी कॉमेंट्री फोकस होती है practical examples through. Your BBT goes more on a philosophical terms. That's the only difference. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the prime emphasis is on the practical application of these teachings, positioning them as essential guides. इसलिए Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary I like more because it gives a summation of all the other previous acharyas' commentaries, because he came last. It highlights the effectiveness of these instructions in burning away material desires, thereby assisting seekers in the journey towards spiritual liberation. So that's the idea. That's the great benefit of hearing Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vaishnava Acharyas generally. BBT purport also is Vaishnava Acharyas, actually, starting from Sridhar Swami Maharaj, Jiva Goswami, and all these things are there, It offers a deeper philosophical context, linking the concept of Atmano Gatim to both the soul's ultimate destination and the meaning of reaching it. So more on the philosophical terms, these purports are there. So this dual perspective accentuates the teachings of significance. So that's the fundamental difference between these two. But if you combine that synergy, 1 plus 1 is not 2, but more than 2. Conclusion, this passage encapsulates profound themes of spiritual enlightenment, the transforming potency of sacred teaching. So every chapter that you see that I give you a conclusion. If you don't have time, at least read the conclusion. You'll get the essence of that particular aspect of it. Okay, text 46 to 49, journey towards pure love of God. That supremacy of Lord Krishna, recognition of Krishna's position. This passage conveys Krishna's unparalleled status as the Supreme Personality. That's what Narad Muni, when he was explaining, finally he hears everything from Narayan Rishi, okay? And then he started glorifying Krishna. So Narayan, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Narayan Rishi might be asking him that, why are you, I'm your guru and I'm in front of you and you are glorifying Krishna. So then Narad Muni answers, Krishna incarnation you. So Krishna is supreme. वो कहते हैं ना कि I think Krishna's 4 qualities that none of his expansions have that, right? Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Lila Madhurya. What's the 4th thing? 4 things are there. Do you remember?
Rupa Madhurya.
Rupa Madhurya, yes.
Yeah.
So these 4 things, and he gives liberation to even his enemies, demons, So that separates him from even Lord Narayana. Lord Narayana doesn't have that. So that's when Narad Muni glorifies Krishna. Bhakti is the highest path. that we are now within. A role of Narada Muni, mediator of divine knowledge. नारद मुनि की भक्ति देखे कितनी ग्रेट भक्त है. प्रहलाद महाराज, सब great devotees. Narad Muni took them in a devotional path. Narada embodies the vital link between the divine and the material, masterfully articulating the essence of Vedic wisdom. Narada Sutra, we did that Narada Sutra, remember that? He is a great proponent of bhakti process. Narada Pancharatra is all about bhakti. Affirmation of other divine forms. By honoring Krishna, Narada simultaneously honors all manifestations of divinity, including Lord Narayana. So when you worship Krishna, everybody is already included within it. This reflects a deep theological insight into the interconnectedness. Everything is interconnected, and unity of divine expressions, fostering harmony within the vast tapestry of Vedic theology, vast fabric of this Vedic theology. Everything is there. Okay. Conclusion. Philosophical insights in Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Bhakti. Understanding the absolute truth. The passage confronts the intricate challenge of grasping the absolute truth. So absolute truth, समझना difficult है. But if you make an effort under the direction of a bona fide guru, then you'll be able to understand. In the very mind, very senses, material senses, you can understand Krishna by his mercy. Because as you gradually start studying from the bhakti point of view, for your internal senses, everything is going to be purified gradually. And those very senses, buddhi, prana, indriya, they are going to be utilized in this direction, unlike previously. Scriptural support. The profound understanding is fortified by references to esteemed scriptures and Shrutis quotes so many shastras, particularly this Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes many shastras to make his point. Narada's return and sharing that knowledge. So Narada comes back afterwards to Vyasa, and then he enlightens Srila Vyasa there. Conclusion, this passage illuminates the paramount philosophical insights of bhakti as the ultimate path to understanding and connecting with the Supreme. Narada's recognition of Krishna's supremacy, along with his heartfelt obeisances, reflects deep theoretical knowledge that transcends mere ritualistic worship. So it's not just rituals. The commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur amplifies the significance of Krishna not only as an object of devotion, but also as the pivotal figure within the grand context of divine manifestation. This narrative inspires practitioners to immerse themselves in authentic devotion. So, sincerity of purpose, I keep repeating so many times, all of you. Sincerity of purpose is the one that's required to make progress on the devotional path. Sincerity, punctuality. Nothing can match that. The last verse, the Supreme Lord's eternal presence. Verse 50 asserts that Lord Narayana exists before, during, and after creation. He is an expansion. Krishna is an expansion of Lord Narayana. Narayana, why? Is for the creation of cosmic creation, cosmic manifestation. That's how the three Purushas come into existence, right? Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Naksharodaksha Vishnu, solely for the purpose of cosmic creation. And why is cosmic creation is required? Because living entities have karmas. The karmas need to be purified, and Krishna needed these souls which did not get purified in previous cycle. Keep moving, keep introducing the new cycles all the time to give additional opportunities to get their karma is resolved. That's the reason why Lord Narayana is there. Philosophical insight, the eternal presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, encapsulate the belief in a personal deity who intricately weaves himself into the very fabric of the universe. Provision of all types of jivatmas. Yes. So Krishna helps everyone, every soul, everybody. Those who turn towards him or not, he helps everyone. And he is very patient. Repeated opportunities he gives. The verse articulates that Lord meets the needs of all jivatmans. Even when we are on material platform to carry out material desires, he helps us do. Otherwise, we cannot even enjoy material sense gratification also. There also we need a super soul, he guides everybody. Okay. So that is given in the next cycle. Role of the surrender in overcoming illusion, self-explanatory, the nature of devotion and humility. So humility, the verse culminates a profound expression of humility and an earnest longing for divine mercy from the Lord. So Lord's grace is there. This divine mercy reflects the unearned grace, unearned grace that the Lord generously bestows upon his devotees. Preferentially, the prayerful tone resonates with deep devotion and a genuine acknowledgement of one's position as a seeker of this grace. So, जितनी sincerity of purpose है, इतना आप आगे बढ़ पाएंगे. The act of humbly seeking the Lord's mercy embodies the sense of bhakti. Conclusion, the focus emphasizes the Supreme Lord's eternal presence and his ability to cater means he takes care of, to all souls according to their distinct spiritual journey. Depending on whatever the desire we have, Krishna fulfills. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur masterfully highlights the importance of humility and devotees' heartfelt surrender. So, humility and sharanagati. Just surrender yourself, everything will be taken care of. The two key points. So ये देखो, fruity workers, he gives buddhi, manas, indriyas, and prana. All these things to enjoy the fruits of their karma. The same, this indriya, everything for gyanis. Buddhi for Saivijya Mukti, merging into the Brahma Jyoti. The devotee's bhakti is association. Krishna gives his personal association through this Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Everybody must understand very clearly. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. In fact, the famous verse is there in that when the Kali Yuga happened, and when Krishna left this planet Earth, Jnana Saha, with knowledge, everything gone, then what is going to be there in this world without Krishna? So then it said that Bhagavatam came into existence so that people in this darkness make progress. So ingredient cause, so this is the Lord's ingredient cause of creation, because he created even the very individual ingredient, the indriyas, all these things, indriyas, buddhi, everything is created that is needed for Brahma. All Brahma, everything that is needed, parts and parcels, everything is provided. Then Brahma creates this 14 planetary systems and 8.4 million species of life forms. So he is the Upadana Karanam. Upadana means all the necessary ingredients he provides. And then he is also efficient cause. Nimitta Karanam, the supreme controller. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in this context, surrender is portrayed as a deeply heartfelt act, intricately linked to humility and the recognition of one. So this humility and sadhu sangha you keep hearing all the time. Yes, surrender is framed as a key mechanism for overcoming illusion. yet it is contextualized, context driven, within the broader tapestry of the Lord's omnipresence and provision. Instead of being viewed solely as a personal act, surrender emerges as a part of systematic and purposeful approach to spiritual practice. जैसे कहते हैं कि हमें कुछ सीखना हो तो स्लेट पहले आगे जो कुछ लिखा हुआ है वो निकाल देना चाहिए. Then the new things can be written on the slate, right? So जो ignorance है impurity वो निकाल देना चाहिए. Then the fresh knowledge can be written on this completely clean slate. So ये भी ऐसा ही है. Surrender करना का मतलब क्या है? Surrender मतलब all the pre-notions that you have, completely give up and unconditionally surrender to Krishna. Then Krishna will write the ABC of bhakti on the slate of our heart. Understanding devotion, so bhakti कैसे हो बताइए, वो तो कितने समय में. Approach to liberation, moksha. Devotees don't care much about moksha. It's automatically he gets it. When he comes to spiritual platform, automatically samsara is over for him. Repeated birth, death is over. Broader context of philosophy. These interpretations reflect a vibrant philosophical dialogue within Vaishnavism, where the interplay of grace and effort. So हमें एफर्ट करना जरूरी है, भक्ति करना जरूरी है, मगर हम भक्ति करना चाहते हैं, उससे भक्ति नहीं मिलती है. भगवान की ग्रेस हो, उनकी भक्तों की कृपा दृष्टि हो, तभी भक्ति मिलती है. मांगने से भक्ति नहीं मिलती है. Conclusion: the differing interpretation between Vishwanath Chakra. So this आचार्य explain, तो फिर भक्ति आती कहां से? मांगने से भक्ति नहीं मिलती, भगवान की ग्रेस कैसे मिलती है? अज्ञात सुकृति, some previous lifetime में कुछ अज्ञात हमने कुछ किया है, without even knowing it's a good karma, good thing. Then some previous life we might have served, seen this. भगवान की रथ यात्रा निकलती है, कितने अनजान लोग होती है स्ट्रीट में, कुछ लोग जानते ही नहीं भगवान को क्या कौन है. Still just having that darshana of भगवान की रथ यात्रा, in some lifetime next in the future you will come to bhakti platform. ऐसा आती है भगवान की भक्ति, ऐसे बनती है अज्ञात सुकृति. हरे कृष्ण. All right, so it's open for discussion now. Sharad Prabhuji, I'll give you the first chance. You want to add something to it? Now that you are returning from Vrindavan, you must have a lot to talk about.
Yes, Prabhuji.
भक्ति धाम वहां से आप आ रहे हैं.
Prabhu, share something on Vrindavan, Prabhu.
हमें कुछ enlightenment कीजिए.
Hare Krishna.
Fully charged.
Yeah, share something on Vrindavan also, Prabhu. We would like to hear from you, from your voice.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'll not take much
You were
time.
there so many days over there.
Yeah, we spent about 3 weeks there in Vrindavan, about 4 days in with my son and daughter-in-law. Then came back just a day before yesterday. And there basically we did the puja of the house on the 7th because earlier the Chaturmasya was there. And in this we did another thing, that is we went to Mandirvan and offered the complete clothing for the divine couple there, and we had prasad in the house of the head priest there. And the head priest, they have invited us for the marriage anniversary of the divine couple Radha and Krishna in the month of February. I don't know if I'll be able to go or not, but Radha Vinod Prabhuji will be there at that time, 19th of February. Then another very important thing happened. That is, if you want to grow in devotional service, In Vrindavan, you should do two, three things. Yes, respecting the Vaishnavas, not committing any Vaishnava aparadhas, they are all there. But besides that, one should take bath in Yamuna. This is very difficult in this season because it is extremely cold there. But one thing, please remember, if it permits you, please eat the food offered by a Brajavasi. And this happened many times during my this 3 weeks stay there. And I am totally blessed because of that. And we didn't,
Braj roti na, Prabhuji?
pardon?
Braj roti na?
Yeah, anything offered by a
It
Brajavasi.
is called Madhukar, Prabhu. Madhukar, no?
Madhukari.
नहीं
Madhukari.
Madhukari.
नहीं Madhukari is the sadhus who go to from house to house and do Madhukari. That is, we are not doing that. That is for the sadhus. But if you are able to eat in a house of Brajavasi or any food offered by the Brajavasi, that assists you in having the mercy of the Lord and progressing in devotional service. And if that is possible, one should do it. And we had the great opportunity. It happened many times during our stay in the last about 3 weeks in Vrindavan. So these are some of the things, and the time spent was very, very nicely. And I'll connect that to the first verse which we learned today, that is the verse 40th. There we learned that even a neophyte devotee, even he may misbehave, still he will not suffer in this life. And it came in the slide also. For those who are living in the Mathura district, that is Mathura, Vrindavan, and this Braja Chaurasi Cross, that is 256 miles, 252 miles in 252 kilometers in Braja. There the Shrutis are telling that the Supreme Lord, He is the object of all worship. And even if the residents of that place, they fail to properly cultivate the religious principles that one should observe in the Holy Land, they still become devoted to the Supreme Lord just by virtue of living there. And that is, if you stay in the Brajamandal, if you stay in the Mathura the area in Vrindavan, even if you do nothing, no chanting, no not going to any temple, you just eat and sleep there, that is enough for you to receive the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That is the greatness of these holy places. And it is said that even in this age of Kali, the devotees of the Supreme Lord who live in Mathura, they are very, very dear to the Supreme Lord Himself. And then another very, very interesting thing given in the last verse, that is 50th verse, where it is said that the Supreme Lord is the cause and controller of everything in the entire universe. And now, what does it mean? He is the Karta and Karaita. He does the thing and it is done by him, it is inspired by him. That means whatever we are doing, if we do a thing, we should not think that we are doing that thing. Now, one may, and there is a very famous question, if the Lord is doing everything and if it is being done through us, He is approving it, then how we are responsible for our actions? Now, this is also given very nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Lord is the Karta and Karaita, but we believe or believe that we are the Karta and Karaita, and that's why we are responsible for that. And the moment we live that idea, leave it to the thing that everything is done by the Supreme Lord in our hearts only, and we do it sincerely, then we are not responsible for our actions. The Lord is responsible for all our actions, and that's why Arjuna, he killed thousands and lakhs and millions of people in the war, but still no sin could touch him. It is because of that we have to learn, and for that we have to have total faith on the Supreme Lord. And if you try to analyze, if we ourselves have total faith on the Supreme Lord, you'll realize that it may not be complete. If we have total full faith on the Lord, then we should not do anything else. We should not do anything else other than relying on the Supreme Lord. But what we do, we try our own means, we use our intelligence, we use our strength to resolve a thing. You just leave it to the Lord. I have practiced it many times. In the most difficult situation, you just leave it to the Lord, and you'll see He will resolve it without your getting an inclination of it, and in no time at all. And the other thing we should remember, if any trouble is coming to me, coming to us, then that is it is the Lord's action. He is trying to test us how we are behaving in that particular situation, and nothing else. As we have already learned, because we are in the path of this devotional service, we are totally dependent on the Lord, and the Lord's responsibility is to protect us, to look after us. Yogokhemam vahamyam. And he is doing it very, very sincerely. We cannot think of that. That's why you should have total faith on the Supreme Lord. That's why even Mahatma Gandhi once said that if you believe on God, why do you collect so many things and keep it at your home? You see that things will come on their own. Many of the things we cannot perhaps comprehend and believe them fully, and that's why we are in this stage. But if we believe and have faith on the Lord, He is always behind us to help. That's why we should not use any other means in case of trouble coming. We should only depend on Him. This is the crux of what we have learned today. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See, it made so much difference, right? Sadhguru is back with us.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Okay.
we are so blessed.
Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Any
Prabhuji.
question you might have? बहन जी आप कुछ पूछना चाहती है?
मैं बहुत अच्छा क्लास बहुत अच्छा था। मैं ये बताऊंगी, एक तो बताना चाहूंगी, और आपका जो आपने ये आज कराया है इज वेरी नाइसली एक्सप्लेन भाई जी।
थैंक यू।
और मैं अभी कुछ माइंड में कुछ आ नहीं रहा क्वेश्चन या कुछ,
कोई बात नहीं, कोई
तो
बात नहीं।
आई शेल
Just one
थोड़ा
point before end of the after end of the class, after the Nrsimha prayers, I'll request the core group members to please stay. We'll have a word for about 5-10 minutes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Am I audible,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so first, welcome back, Charu Prabhu. Yeah, as Charu Prabhu said, the energy, extra energy is back, power energy is back. So, Charu Prabhu, wonderful class. The question I have is, you referred to a fallen sannyasi versus a fallen devotee, and you also clarified. First question: what is the difference between them? Still not clear. And then, yeah, let's discuss about this, and then I have one more question. Like, what is the difference between
Difference.
you refer to the term as fallen sannyasi versus a fallen devotee? What is the difference?
Yeah, the main difference is that the devotee, even the newcomer devotee, is serving the Lord. His bhakti is towards the personal aspect of Krishna, right? Whereas the sannyasi is on some impersonal aspect of it. Okay, that's the main thing. So Bhagwan समझते new devotee है, तो some mistakes can be done, can happen that, So Bhagwan समझते at least he has taken my shelter.
Yes.
Okay? So there's a fundamental difference that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. It's the fundamental difference in sannyasi, fallen sannyasi, and devotee sannyasi. And devotee sannyasi is particularly mentioned about living in Mathura.
Right. So herein the fallen sannyasi is more of
Krishna जो past time जहाँ उन्होंने बिताया है, he took birth there, he appeared there, so उनकी कुछ अजीब और additional influence आती है, But nonetheless, the main thing, the newcomer devotee, he worships the Lord with utmost sincerity. That's what it. Yeah.
So herein the fallen sannyasi is but if a devotee, if it's a devotee Vaishnava sannyasi, then that.
No, we are not talking about the Vaishnava sannyasi. It's the impersonal sannyasi who has some hidden desires and still wearing Bhagavad cloth and posing himself as a sannyasi. So that is a mithyachari. So that kind of sannyasi we are talking about.
So Prabhuji, if one is
So जो
one
mistake,
was
newcomer devotee जो mistake करते हैं, by innocence he committed mistakes,
Prabhuji,
Yeah,
if one was in saffron before and then enters in white, so what we should consider?
I'm not sure I follow what you're saying. Saffron cloth versus white cloth.
So first was in saffron clothes, and if one is now turned into white dress, so how one should consider?
Now I think the sannyasi, we are talking about the Tridandi sannyasis who wear this saffron cloth, I think in Vaishnavas there's a difference, right? The white cloth that I thought that married people जो होते हैं वो white cloth पहनते हैं, devotees, and this the brahmacharis जो होते हैं वो saffron clothes पहनते हैं. Maybe Shadpur, you can enlighten more. I don't know much about that.
Perhaps Mataji is referring to a sannyasi who has fallen down and has become a grihastha. If that be so, then his going to the hell is confirmed.
But Prabhuji, isn't that the case of Ananya Bhak? Because he is in the culture. He could not keep up to the vow, but he now wears white, but he is still continuing to practice. So then still.
Yes, but there are other rules also in the Shastra. Then we spoke about the neophyte devotee and the fallen sannyasi in the impersonal path. There are enough chances of his also going to the hell.
The main thing is that
But Prabhu, just a question here. See, in the Srila Prabhupada disciples, many of the disciples, initially they did the sannyas and later they accepted the household life. Prabhupada accepted that one. That's okay, no problem. That you can practice the grahastha, It doesn't mean that.
They're still serving in ISKCON.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Prabhupada accepted them, So
accepted that is perfectly all right because he has to accept the guru, the leader. He has to accept if somebody has done it. But there are many other scriptural injunctions. What will happen to such a person? that is there. It will happen that way. That means Prabhupada is giving a chance to that person to improve. Perhaps he accepted the sannyasa at when the time was not right for him. But still he is improving. That's why the Guru has accepted. There is nothing wrong in that.
But
Prabhuji,
in this one, the example is given about the impersonal sannyasi. Okay?
yeah.
A distinction is made. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes it very clear. It's only meant for those who are on an impersonal aspect of it, not the Vaishnavas, sannyasis we are talking about.
Because this
Yeah.
impersonal sannyasis are persons who believe in impersonal Brahman, they are not devotees.
Mhm. So
In
that
that
means they
very
have
sense.
only changed ashram. That's all. Yeah. In case of Vaishnava devotee sannyasis, so is
Yeah.
that they have only changed the ashram. Okay.
Another thing, Prabhu, so it is, I think Charu Prabhu mentioned, or even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, it is coming Ashwalamba Gavalambam Sannyasam Palapaitrakam Devarena Sutoptam Kalahu Pancha Vivarjitam, something like that it is there. I forgot that verse. In the Kali Yuga, sannyas is completely Varjit. So even Ashwamedha Yage is Varjit. All these 5 things are Varjit. So how can we just need to understand? Here the Shastra says it is a Varjit. Sannyas is completely Varjit here. So is it only special devotees are taking the sannyas? Don't know. Just I thought to ask you this question. Hare Krishna.
That verse is there. What you are saying is correct. But it is also explained that it is not discarded, Varjit in that way. That's why even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also took sannyasa. And he has been an example here. That happened in Kali Yuga only about 500 years back. But
See, my Guru Maharaj
but
actually,
today what we spoke, it was about the impersonal aspects.
my Guru Maharaj encouraged me to accept sannyasa, but I respectfully explained to him that I'm not ready because I don't consider my heart is pure enough. And besides, preaching from Grasta Dharma, in my view, is much more effective for me because I'm going through the same difficulty, same situation, so I can preach better from a Grasta life than from a sannyasi life. And I don't consider myself fit for being a sannyasi, at least not at this stage. So I had to respectfully, decline. My Guru Maharaj was encouraging me to accept that. Yeah.
जी गृहस्थ में रहते हुए ये सब डिवोशन टुवर्ड्स गॉड रखना, बढ़ाना, भक्ति एक तरह से करना
बहुत
वो
डिफिकल्ट
ज्यादा
है ना, तो इसलिए मैं सोचा कि अगर प्रीचिंग करना है तो it is more effective by remaining from grasta.
Yes, Prabhu. I mean,
फैमिली को समय सपोर्ट करना होता है, ये सब करने के बावजूद भी भक्ति करना बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल है.
Hey, but at the same time, if you see those who have had the personal audience of the Supreme Lord, those who have gone to that level, out of them, about 97, 98% will be Grihasthas and about 1 or 2% will be sannyasis only.
yes, Prabhu. Out of 12 Mahajanas, 7 are already Grihasthas, That's what we can take it.
Yes.
By the way, Rajiv Prabhu is going to begin his classes tomorrow onwards.
Yes, Prabhu. I am a bit nervous, but please bless me. I am
Why
able
nervous?
to make
Yeah, very
justice.
good. You are a good speaker.
Thank you.
Thank
Need
you.
all your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I think our time is up now. I think let's conclude the class. बहन जी आप करेंगे?
जी मैं करती हूँ,
हाँ,
जी मैं करती हूँ जी. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lad Dai. Prahlad Lad Dai. हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कालनकालाय शिलाटङ्कालनकालाय इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा ओ नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा महे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा महे हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरे नताम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु
Tanubringam
वेषधृता नरहरिरूपा
Keshavadritaharupa
जय
Jai
जगदीश
Jagadisha
हरे
Hare
जय
Jai
जगदीश
Jagadisha
हरे
Hare
तव कर
Kara Kamala
कमलवरे
Vare
नताम्
Nakam
अद्भुत
Adbhuta
शृङ्गाम्
Sringa Dalita
दलिता
Dalita Hiranyakashipu Hiranyakashipu
हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्ग केशवधृता हरे
Naraharirupa
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Hare
जय नरसिंहदेव
Hare
नरसिंहदेव
Narsimhadev
नरसिंहदेव
Narsimhadev
जय प्रहलाद महाराज
Narsimhadev
महाराज जय प्रहलाद
Maharaj
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada Jai
देव
Jai
जय जय देव
Prabhupada
जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव की जय हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
Hare
हरे राम राम
Ram
राम
Ram
हरे
Hare
हरे थैंक यू भाई जी थैंक यू ऑल प्रभु जी एंड माता जी
Thank you. Thank you for a nice class. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandrabai,
Thank
for
you,
a nice
Prabhuji.
class. Thank you,
Hare
Chandrabai.
Krishna.
Chandrabai.
Randu
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Sarat Prabhuji. Thank you, Sanjeev Prabhuji. Thank you, all
Thank you,
devotees.
Prabhuji. Dhanwad.
Thank
I
you,
request
Mataji.
the
Hare
core
Krishna.
group members to please remain. Others may.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, with your permission, can I start?